ivim.ca/app. So that's where you could go, and you would see it's loading data directly from Statistics Canada website. From this Statistics Canada website, I can open it in a new tab. And yeah, it's actually, I think it could be very interesting for everyone to understand better all this data. So the data comes from Statistics Canada website. This is the website. You can see it right here, provisional weekly death counts by selected group causes of deaths. And it's provisional. So these are considered not to be final. And in fact, I see they have released the new version just actually on the 14th of April, right? The one which I worked was a week older than that. So you can normally you can download a video file, or not a video, data file right from here, from data option, and you can select download CSV. CSV stands for comma separated values data file, and you can click on any of these and you could download all those many numbers in many columns. Like I'm using it the same columns actually as shown in this table right here. So you would see what it shows here. In first column you have provinces, Newfoundland for example, then you have cause of death, and then you would see how many deaths of particular type has happened in the last 5 weeks of the reporting for that particular province. So let's scroll down a little bit and see, let's say for Quebec. Okay, so for Quebec, you see that actually there is no information entered for the month of February. Indeed, some provinces are behind by 2, 3, or some of them actually for 6 months behind reporting those numbers. But we do have some numbers, let's say from British Columbia. Awesome. So you would see these numbers right here. In British Columbia, we have the following, let's say, accidents. How many accidents? So people died from accidents. 15, 10, 5, that's how many happened in the last 5 weeks of reporting, right? So we just take all those numbers and we just plot them right here. So for British Columbia, this is what you see here is from 2019 to the beginning of the 2022 by different causes. Let's say this is total or all total deaths right here. Now you see, let's say here these are heart causes of heart. Now these are influenza and pneumonia, and this is COVID, and this is what is called unspecified cause. So they put the code 99, which means the cause could not be specified. And you see this for British Columbia, you see this for Alberta, and as mentioned here that many provinces are behind, many months behind. So the red line, actually, you would see there are many buttons on this side, and right now we have a new functionality called Show Access Deaths. So I have just disabled it right now because currently we're looking just at the latest data from 2019 to 2022 for different provinces and nationals. So for Canada, for Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia. And by the way, again, what I may suggest that everyone just would, whoever is on the computer or a smartphone, you can just go to this app yourself, and you will see all these graphs, and you know exactly where these numbers are coming from. They're coming from, again, from these Statistics Canada website, which is linked right here. So how beautiful it is to see the numbers as images, right? How tough it is to see anything in these tables. You don't see anything here because really there is no way to see anything here. But when you plot them like that, you can see so much there. So let's just have a look quickly. What do we have here? What can we choose here? We can choose regions. For example, I have selected Canada and a couple of provinces in Atlantic, then a couple of provinces, main provinces, Quebec, Ontario, and then Alberta, British Columbia. Then we also can choose what causes of deaths we want to visualize. Now, again, I'm talking now for a few minutes already. Can someone just please let me know if you could still hear me and can see my screen? Because if you do see my screen and can hear me, that's wonderful. That means that actually it's working, even though I have no clue whatsoever whether anyone is watching or anyone is hearing or seeing anything, because I don't have the feedback. So again, if anyone can just, I don't know how you do it in Facebook. Can you type something here? Can you put a thumb up or some other sign of something? So again, all right. You know, we will practice it again as much as we need to, again, to master this skill of webinars or showing some information on the web. Okay, just, can I type something myself here? Let me see if I can type anything here. Okay, let's do the following. I will talk for maybe 15 more minutes and then we'll get ready to go for a swim in our nice little pond for a good boost of energy, positive energy and health. So here we just wanted to talk briefly about the excess deaths. So excess deaths really refers to the difference between the deaths which are observed now from what is normally expected based on the average, historical average. So now we have added this functionality called show excess deaths. And again, just watch what is happening here. When you click or you uncheck, you would see only red lines for Canada. So I'm showing red lines for Canada. And this is starting from, again, from 2019. So we have 1 year before pandemic, then we have early pandemic, late pandemic, with early vaccination and late vaccination. So these vertical lines really indicate different periods of analysis, and each of them are marked by some change of policies. And we can talk more about that, which particular policies were changed or which variables were introduced. So for example, here in 2020, a new variable or a new cause was introduced called COVID, right? There was no such variable before that. So now in 2021, we have vaccination has started essentially, and we have ability to show you vaccination rates right here. So again, this is very, very interesting when you do it as a game, pretty much. Show vaccination rate, and you can click here and it will show you right here the curve which shows you full vaccination rate and partial vaccination rate starting from pretty much the beginning of year 2021 and reaching 80% by 2022, right? So now when you click show excess deaths, you would see a new line is added on top of each image, black line. So what this black line means, it's the average, weekly average for pre-pandemic. Now, let's just talk a little bit about those numbers. So what are these numbers? So each number shows you deaths per million per week for each of these regions. For example, for Canada, we had at the end of 2021, we had about 150 deaths a week. That's the red line here. And we see that historically, it was slightly less than 150, right? And so on and so forth. You can see it for different causes. Again, causes are here, or different regions right here. So what do we see when we look at the excess deaths? We see that actually it differs very much from one province to another. Let's start from the province which actually shows no excess deaths, which is Quebec, which is actually very, very good result. So whatever they're doing or whatever they're not doing, again, I cannot comment on why we see what we see, but I can state simply the observations which all of us have now by looking at this image. So what we see that the total deaths here for Quebec for the period 2021, which is right here, is actually, it's almost identical to the historical average. This is quite nice, because in the year 2020, we did have a jump due to COVID deaths, right? And now, okay, seems everything is back to normal. Now let's look at New Brunswick. And New Brunswick is a very different story. You see that, so again, this vertical line indicates the beginning of the vaccination right here. It's the third vertical line. And you see before vaccination, the rate of deaths per week was again pretty much the same as average historical weekly death rate. But starting from vaccination, starting from January 2021, the red line, which is the actual observed weekly death rate, started going up, and actually it goes up and quite more up. It's by more than 20% up. This is phenomenal. I have never seen, I looked at all the historical data, I have never seen increase in excess deaths by more than 20% here. Now, let's say in Newfoundland, another Atlantic province, we also see that in the beginning of pandemic and actually before vaccination, the excess date or the excess deaths, actually there are no excess deaths. It's the red line pretty much is the same as black line. But again, starting from vaccination, and specifically starting from May 1st, which is when the general public vaccination has started, we see increase like a jump really by about 10% of deaths. Now, these are deaths for all ages combined. We do have information about different age groups, and we'll show it to you later. So that's what we observe. Now, in Alberta, let's see what we have in Alberta. In Alberta, we see that in the beginning of pandemic, there were little bit of more deaths than expected, then a little more, then it went down, and now they're going up again. And actually, the excess deaths here is larger than what we had before vaccination again. And the same is for British Columbia. So we see the excess deaths, the red line, significantly higher than black line. So again, let's repeat, what are these vertical lines? This is 1st January 2020. This is summer 2020, before the second wave of pandemic started. This is the 1st January of 2021, so when the vaccination has started with high-risk population. And the last vertical line is when vaccination started with general population, so including children and healthy otherwise individuals. So, all right, quite interesting, huh?